Mike. Testing. Testing.
Testing. Able, Baker, Charlie, dog. Able, Baker, Charlie, dog.
At 25 feet, I heard him clearly. I released a marker. The gadget was lowered to 50 feet.
Testing 2. I am testing sibilance. 6 slim, silky sandwiches sat softly. Repeat.
6 slim, silky sandwiches sat softly.
Dr. Newman's invention tested out beautifully. It was a real advance in underwater communication. I didn't know then that through this same gadget, I would hear my death sentence.
Nelson?
Yeah. That's my name.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Ramon Amador Fierro y Aguilar, Eagle Trading Company. You can call me Ray.
Hi, Ray.
I'll lay it on the table. I need a first-class diver who can do some training.
You mean teach skin diving, huh?
Exactly. I have 2 geologists, and I need them trained to dive. What we're after is underwater.
Buried treasure?
Do I look like a sucker? No, sir. This is real. My company holds a government concession for diamond mining and dredging along a certain river. We have reason to believe that along the river mouth there's a fabulously rich bed of gemstones. Very rich. Now, we'd want a contract for your services for at least 10 weeks, teaching 2 of my geologists to dive. We'll pay all your fees plus all expenses. And if all goes well, a nice bonus. Here's your advance. Now, how soon can you leave?
Well, I'm free now.
Tomorrow, then?
Tomorrow.
Wonderful. That's what I like. American get up and go. Hasta luego, señor.
Hasta luego. I accepted the job on an impulse. 24 hours later, we took off for South America. After 12 hours flying time, we arrived in Panama. Here, we changed to a chartered plane and touched down at night in a small jungle airport, close to the river delta. Early next morning, I had a chance to look at the countryside. It was snake country, all right. But snakes don't usually bother you underwater, I thought. I sighted a giant alligator in the shallows. Then more snakes. And more alligators. Soon we reached our base of operation, a native fishing boat anchored in the middle of the river.
Mike, meet Harry Barnes and Sam Finelli.
Barnes?
Hi, Mike. Pleasure.
Finelli?
Welcome to the end of the world.
What do I do with this?
Careful with that equipment, Sam. That's for your new job.
Say, Mike, is this valve, is it constant?
No, don't worry. No, it's compensating. It adjusts the water pressure down to 200 feet if you have to go down that far.
200 feet? And me nervous in a bathtub. Well, when do we start?
Right now, Sam.
We started that afternoon with the essentials. First, above water. They worked and learned fast. The next day, I took them down for the first time. Both men were good swimmers.
Still training. How much longer?
As long as necessary. It's a whole new world down there. Divers got to know the rules.
Yeah, he's right, Ramon. I get much less nervous down here every day.
It's 2 weeks already. Why not dredge the bottom for those diamonds? It's all the same water.
No, it isn't. At 20 feet, it's something you bathe in. But deeper, well, it's a pressure. It's like a vice. It could kill you.
All right, then, no worries. But tell me this. When are you going to take them all the way down to the bottom?
Maybe tomorrow.
On our next dive, I took them down to deeper waters. The pressure wasn't bad, but the tides and current were another story. First the river going out, then the ocean surging in. The first time the full force of the tide hit Finelli, he was knocked off his feet. When I grabbed him, he panicked and fought. It took some doing to get him up.
What was that? What hit me? Current. It's not too dangerous if you just ride along with it until you can swim free. Well, we'll work along the shore for a while. Current's not bad there. It's not too deep. Yeah, sure. But I'm not going diving again. Not today. Oh, Uncle Anna, tell the crew to keep that air compressor going full time, huh?
Comienzan los motores y que siga la compresión toda la noche. Ándale, pronto.
Now they were ready to begin actual mining operations. We were busy on the bottom when Barnes suddenly looked up and sighted a giant water snake slithering out of a cave. Snakes like to strike at moving targets. I signaled them to remain motionless. But my friends were too panicky to obey me. They surfaced as fast as they could. I followed them only because I was responsible for their safety. I was closest to the snake, so the anaconda picked me as his victim, and in 2 seconds flat, I was imprisoned in a murderous embrace. Luckily, a snake's grip underwater is not as powerful as on dry land. Otherwise, all my ribs would have been cracked. My wet diving suit was almost as slippery as the snake's skin. I twisted and turned and finally got out of his awful coils.
Thanks a lot, fellas. You're a great help.
Sorry, Mike.
Now, next time that you come face to face with an anaconda, freeze. Don't move. He'll strike at anything that moves.
He was almost 30 feet long. I've never seen anything so huge.
20 feet, anyway.
Well, 20 feet, 30 feet, I don't care how long he was a snake, and I don't like snakes. And next time I go down, I'm taking a gun.
Take my 38.
Make me feel better, too.
Good, let's get it.
Take an hour break, huh? I got some rigging that I gotta do anyway.
They needed time to rest their nerves, so I decided to set up the hydrophone rig. I had promised Dr. Newman to check his invention under actual field conditions. The others were too busy to pay attention to what I was doing. I rigged up the microphones and checked the connecting lines. The principle of the gadget was really simple, but the titanium vibrating head was a very sensitive instrument with many transistors. I still didn't know to what extent the currents, the rolling and the pitching of the boat, and the humidity would affect the sensitive parts. The hydrophone had to pass many more tests before it could be offered to the Navy. I inspected the loudspeaker assembly, checked the adjustments, and all the connecting lines. I lowered it slowly to a depth of 15 feet. Then I went below. Turned on the power.
How do you feel, Harry?
I'm okay, Sam. Give me a hand with this weight, though. We're going to hustle on here.
And everything checked out all right. They came down soon after, and they started to work collecting rocks in the bottom. I joined them to help. They acted like real experts. They knew which ones to pick and which ones to discard. They seemed to be very happy about certain ones that they found. We filled our sacks and surfaced.
This is definitely a gemstone.
I see. So that's a diamond, huh?
Of second quality, worth 3,000 American dollars.
This is part of an alluvial deposit. The whole thing will run probably 600 carats. Boat.
Quick, get down below.
What are you playing? Hey, what's this all about?
Below, I'll explain later. Come on up, fellas.
What's the idea?
Take it easy, Mike. Take it easy.
That was a patrol boat, wasn't it? For the government.
Yes, it was.
You've got no permit to work this area, have you? And that diamond is no more yours than if you'd picked somebody's pocket.
Relax, Mike. We don't want any trouble.
Try to understand. We've worked for years trying to locate this find.
Well, it's too bad that it had to be on somebody else's property.
Don't throw moral judgments at us. We've sweated our blood out down here for 10 years. And now we've got our hands on a fortune. And we don't intend to let it go.
Be reasonable. They're trying to push us.
Yeah, Mike. Don't push us.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of silly of me not to string along with you fellas. The odds were 5-1, so I played along. It was 70 miles to the nearest town, and the Navy patrol boat might not come by again for a month. I had only one edge. They didn't know about the hydrophone, a direct pipeline to the deck above.
I'm glad Nelson was reasonable. We need him.
We need him only for a few more days, until he teaches us what we need to know.
What then? Well, there's only one thing to do.
What do you mean?
Look, this is a major find.
We can't take any chances by trusting Nelson. Just what are you proposing to do? And there's no other way. We'll make it look like an accident. No, I don't want any part of anything like that. You don't have to do it. I will. Give me a couple of days. I'll figure out a way.
My brain was running in circles. We were anchored off the end of nowhere, 70 miles to the nearest village. And they knew the jungle. I didn't. I had to be smarter than they were, or get shot. They acted as if nothing had happened, but I knew what was on their minds. I had to have an excuse to listen into the conversation, so I left my lamp and tools below on purpose.
I'll get down and get those tools. Huh? Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at this stuff.
But instead, I switched on my hydrophone to learn more about their plans.
This is it.
Big? An entire alluvial formation. We found a stratum of sedimentary rock adjacent to the kimberlite we've been working. A load of gemstones.
Great.
Now's the time. We don't need Nelson any longer. No. You mustn't.
You want those diamonds?
What's your plan? How are you going to do it?
Underwater.
Maybe we could make it look like an accident.
It'll work. Believe me. You gonna help? There won't be any fortune if you don't.
And this time I heard my own death sentence. There wasn't much I could do about it. All I had was my spear gun and a little time to prepare for the next move. At the next descent, they had only one objective: to execute Mike Nelson. It looked as if I didn't have a chance. They didn't wait long. Barnes fired his gun at me point blank. I had never told him that a bullet wouldn't travel in the water more than 6 feet. He pulled his trigger again. He pulled it 3 times, but the bullets bounced off my tank. Now they pulled their knives. I kept backing away toward the cave that I knew to be the hangout of the giant anaconda. My would-be assassins were concerned only with executing Mike Nelson. They didn't think of the snake. I prodded the snake with my spear gun and moved out of the way. snake struck out. He enveloped Finelli and Barnes in a deadly hug, while I was on my way to the boat.
Mike! I surrender. I give up. I'm your prisoner.
Put your hands up.
Rules of civilized warfare.
Please, Mike! Help us!
Go ahead. Help him.
He's crushing my rib.
Not me.
Tell your man to radio the patrol boat. Want to join him down there, too?
No. Voy a llamarles. Que venga la patrulla inmediatamente. Ahorita, vámonos. Ándale. Pronto.
He's crushing my ribs. Bleed.
Ándale la patrulla inmediatamente en la boca del río. El barco Ilena, un accidente muy feo.
I was fortunate that the patrol boat was close by. Otherwise, 5 to 1 are bad odds in any man's game. The patrol boat appeared on the horizon. It approached us fast. I had a new lease on life.
Welcome home, Mike.
Well. Hi, Doctor. How are you, huh? Boy, I sure miss seeing you.
I didn't expect you to be gone this long.
I was a little longer than I'd planned.
Well, it must have been interesting work to keep you away so long.
It was that, all right.
I was getting worried.
About me?
No, not you, man. The hydrophone. How did the tests work out? Did you get complete data on it?
I gave it every test possible. Passed them all with flying colors.
I can't thank you enough, Mike.
You don't know the half of it. I'm the one that should thank you. I'll tell you all about it later. Here, let me show you the results. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. You know, 3/5 of the world is covered by the sea. And how little most of us know about that underwater world. Go below with us again next week, huh? For another thrilling adventure in Sea Hunt.
Fishing is illegal in the waters of Florida's Silver Springs. Except for publicity photographs. I was finishing some underwater research at Silver Springs for Marineland of the Pacific when I noticed a hook and line. On the other end of the line was one of the prettiest sights that I've ever seen, even through 10 feet of water. Decided to do a little fishing myself.
Oh, there's something on my line.
I had fisherman's luck that day. My underwater date and I had a picnic lunch together at one of the most beautiful spots in Silver Springs. Sue Kennedy was her name, and she was traveling with a show. She was not only beautiful, she was intelligent, too. There was one thing about her, though. She couldn't swim.
Guess we just never lived it long enough in one place for me to learn.
You want me to teach you?
No, I'm impossible. I'll never learn to swim. I've got a psychological block.
Are you afraid of the water?
No. What's in it? Just the thought of bumping into a fish underwater gives me the shivers.
All the swimming I've done, I've never yet been attacked.
You've just been lucky. What if you'd ever come face to face with a shark or an octopus?
I go like that. No, I've been in the water with them. I've touched them. I have never yet been attacked.
Really? Then I've just been wasting my time worrying?
That's right. There's nothing in the water to be afraid of. Unless you go looking for trouble, unless you attack them or try to take their food away from them. I can't see you doing that. When do you want me to start giving the swimming lessons, huh?
Tomorrow. It's time I unblocked myself.
Well, wait till tomorrow.
Because it's 1 o'clock and I've got to get back to Lakeville. We're opening there tonight for a 2-week stand.
2 weeks, well, we can accomplish a lot in that length of time. What do you do on the show?
Help PK.
PK? Who's PK?
My father. I keep the books for him, pay the bills when we can, pose for publicity shots and sell tickets.
Well, you just sold one.
Mm-mm. For you, there'd be a pass at the gate.
Sure glad that it's only fish that you're afraid of.
Me too.
Oh, excuse me. Hi there, fella. You know where I can find the Kennedys?
Oh, yeah, it's right back there in the room 4 in the motel.
Thank you.
I know we're in trouble, PK. Now, believe me, I know it. But we'll get him back. Now, don't you worry about it.
Well, you get him back, Frankie, then I'll stop worrying. you don't, boy, we're out of business. The law would close us down right this minute if they knew.
They won't, Dad. Now we'll find him.
What do you want, mister?
Hello, Mike.
Oh, come in. Come in.
Dad, this is Mike Nelson. Mike, this is my father.
Hello.
And that's Frank Jarnack. He's in charge of our animal compound.
Jarnack?
You've come at a bad time, my boy, very bad.
Mike, maybe you can help us.
I don't need any help.
He's a skin diver, Frankie. He knows his way around in the water.
Big deal.
Won't do any harm to take him along, will it?
He'll just get in the way.
Not in the water. That's his territory.
Now, get going, Frankie, and take him with you. Caesar isn't going to wait around to be captured.
Okay. I'll go get the stuff.
Tell me, what's this all about?
Caesar got away.
Caesar? Who's Caesar? Oh, a crocodile, huh?
Bull alligator.
14 feet of prehistoric fury. A cold-blooded killer.
12 feet. He is a killer, though. Frankie's had some close calls.
How'd he get loose?
He wiggled under the fence. If we don't recapture him, Dad'll lose his license.
And the show.
Well, you got any idea where he is now?
He's in the lake, in that park down by the road there. Frankie trailed him right to the shore. Now, listen, boy, if there's anything you can do to help, anything at all, I'll be mighty grateful.
I don't know anything about alligators. I don't even know how to start.
Mike, an alligator's no different than a shark or anything else you meet under the water. You said there wasn't any reason to be afraid.
I say that?
We spent years training that reptile. One of the greatest animal acts in the country. It's what brings them in. Oh, if we lose Caesar...
You won't, Dad.
You coming or not?
I'm coming. I wasn't exactly sure why I went, but I did. We picked up Frankie's helper first.
Now, let's go find him.
Tom, this is Mike Nelson. He's going to lend us a hand.
Good. We need all the help we can get. He's a tough gator.
He ain't King Kong, for Pete's sake.
He's tough enough. He got a jaw on him 3 foot long.
That's right. Cut you in two like a meat cleaver. You want out? Now's the time. I don't want to have to leave you out there in the middle of the lake.
Lay off, Frankie. Mike's a big boy.
Yeah, and a big man in the water. Well, come on if you're coming. This is it. This is where it went in.
Like an LST.
It moves a lot faster.
Pretty fair-sized lake. How do you expect to find them?
Easy. Gators don't like deep water. Caesar will be hiding around the roots somewhere. That's where he likes it. I'll roust him out with this, slip a rope around his jaws, and we got it made.
What do you mean roust him out with that? How would you do it?
Like this. When he hears this, he'll come running. Gator's got ears like a hound dog. Let's go, buddy.
Here, take this in case you spot him before we do.
Thanks.
While Frankie and Tom tramped through the water, Sue and I followed along the shore. We weren't helping them much, but I promised Sue to go along. I was wondering what I would do if we did find the alligator.
We should have found him by now. Frankie?
Yeah?
We've gone practically all the way around the lake. Do you think Caesar's still in this lake?
I'm beginning to wonder myself.
I think he is.
Well, you do? Why?
For the same reason that you thought he went in. His tracks. I didn't see any coming out.
He's right.
They could have missed him.
I doubt it. Take it easy, Frankie.
Look out behind you!
We got Frankie to the shore. His shoulder and arm were badly ripped by the alligator's teeth. But all we could give him was first aid.
You saved my life, man. I sure want to thank you.
How is he, Mike?
He'll need a couple of stitches in his shoulder, maybe his arm, too. We better get him to a hospital.
There's a good hospital in Lakeville.
No hospital. Take me back to the motel. The doc that takes care of PK, he can fix me up.
You need special care, Frankie.
Hospitals ask questions. They got to. If I told them about our gator escaping, it'd kill the show. PK, too, maybe.
Dad's a sick man. You saw him.
We'll do it Frankie's way.
And you can drive back to Silver Springs and pick up your equipment.
Oh? Tom? Come on, Tom. Take this. Be careful. I'll hold that tight. I drove to Silver Springs to get my diving equipment and returned to the Kennedys as fast as I could. I kept asking myself, is this trip really necessary? I mean, what did I know about capturing a man-eating alligator? How you feeling, fella?
Fine. Doc says my arm's gonna be okay.
That's great.
Mike, I don't know how to thank you for all you've done. And all you're gonna do.
You better thank me after I do it.
Well, you'll do it. Frankie was telling me how you work. Boy, if you can't capture that alligator, nobody can.
I'm gonna try, Mr. Kennedy, but as I told you before, I don't know anything about alligators. You're gonna have to check me out.
Well, I'm your man for that, Mike. Fire away.
Okay. Now, most animals have a weak spot. What's the alligator's?
The underbelly, if you can stay out of the way of the tail long enough to get to it. The tail's murder.
Yeah, I know it is on land, but what about on the water?
Not so bad. They can't get leverage.
Is there anything special about its jaws that I should know about? I mean, other than the fact that he might bite my head off.
Yeah, there is. Now, there are two sets of muscles that control the jaw. The set that closes them must be made out of steel springs or something. But the set that opens them are pretty weak. That's why you could almost say an alligator's done for if you can get a noose around his jaws.
That's a good thing to know.
The best way to handle a gator is to wear him down. Get him so tired there's no fight left in him. That way you can actually hold the jaws shut with your hands. Long enough at least to slip a noose on him. Now the trouble with Caesar is, it takes a long time to wear him down.
Well, is there anything else that I should know about Caesar?
He's a man-eater. Now, most gators eat fish and small animals. But no matter what you feed Caesar, he still snaps at Tom and me. And he's mean. And he's smart, too.
Well, where do you think that I'd be most apt to find him? Along the shores of the lake, or do you think he'd be in deep water?
Deep water. Because he's got a one-track mind. Along the shores where you heard him with that prod. He'll want to stay away from there. Boy, is he in for a surprise.
Let's hope that he's the only one.
Mike, I wish I could do it.
I wish you could, too. Thanks.
Best of luck.
Oh, boy, you take care.
There we are. No, thanks. I don't need that. Just a rope, huh?
Well, take something. You need some protection.
Well, I've got my protection.
Well, you could kill him with that.
It's last resort only.
Let's hope I won't need this figure.
I began to search the lake thoroughly and cautiously. Near the surface at first, then down deep. I kept thinking that I saw alligators all around me. I thought that my swimming underwater would draw him out. But after what happened to Frankie, I knew how sneaky Caesar could be. A needle in a haystack is easy to find compared to a sly alligator in a Florida lake. I couldn't see very far, especially when I was near the bottom. He could cover himself completely in the muddy bottom. He could float like a log. I not only wanted to find Caesar, I wanted to find him before he spotted me. For all I knew, he might be following me from a distance. No matter how thoroughly I searched, I could still miss him. There was no assurance that he'd stay in one place till I found him. I could have used eyes in the back of my head or a couple of assistants. I didn't see much in the lake that Caesar could feed on, except myself. I looked around the shores, under the banks. I kept circling toward the center of the lake.
You've been under an awful long time. You think he's all right?
45 minutes. He's got enough air in his tank for an hour.
He'll come up then, huh?
Well, he'll have to, of course. Tom, look.
Well, what do you know? They had to pick this lake this afternoon.
Hadn't you better go call them in?
No. You might scare them. And if that canoe tipped over...
Suddenly, something made me look up. Caesar and I were face to face. I wasn't sure which of us was attacking the other. All I could do now was follow Frankie's advice. Avoid those huge jaws and try to tire him. But I wondered which one of us would tire first. Luckily, the water was colder than alligators like it, and Caesar was probably not as quick as usual. That tail was bad enough underwater. I knew that on the surface it could be murderous. Caesar probably never had to fight before with a man who could stay underwater longer than he could. I didn't have very much air left. When you're fighting, you use it up fast. My diving lung wasn't built for this kind of punishment. One big wallop of that tail could break it and leave me helpless. Instead of a rubber diving suit, I could have used a suit of armor. Caesar's biggest advantage was that I wanted him alive and healthy. It didn't matter to him. He'd kill me if he could. Finally, I risked grabbing his jaws when they were closed and held onto them with all my might. Still had to get that noose around his jaws. And I couldn't hold them much longer.
He got Caesar! Come on! Mark! Help! You got him, Mark! Mark, you got him! Caesar! There's a rope!
You name it, boy, and it's yours. Anything within reason. Money, billing, number of shows a week, you write your own ticket.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I want you acting the show, boy. Man against monster.
No, thank you.
Oh, nonsense. Now think of the future you'd have with an act like that.
Yeah, a very short one.
Mike,
I'm sorry. I'm going to be busy the next couple of weeks anyway.
You will, Dad. Giving swimming lessons. It's going to be a full-time job.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Bridges, inviting you to join us for another action-packed story of underwater adventure 1 week from today.
My name is Mike Nelson. My job, underwater research. In 15 years of diving, I've had my share of fun and danger. I've had all kinds of playmates. Friendly, and unfriendly. But the most deadly thing that I've ever encountered in the deep wasn't a shark, it wasn't a stingray, and it wasn't the poisonous touch of the Portuguese man of war. It was something man-made that almost destroyed a harbor, a village, and 100 fishing boats. Here is the town of Mazanel, on the coast of Baja California. 3,000 souls, whose living depends on their fishing boats, their cannery, and the nitrate factory, which makes explosive powder from ore mined in the mountains.
My advice, Diego, is to stick to fishing. You will never grow rich. But you will always have something to eat.
But if I do not like to eat fish, Papa.
What I mean is
She's teasing you, Juan. She means that after we're married, she will like the wages I make at the nitrate factory.
And there are no storms in the factory, no fishing boat lost. My husband will be home each night. Yes, Diego?
Yes, Marcia.
Wait, Diego. Whoa. You will tear my net. See if I can free it.
Hey, I will swim down.
Oh, wait. There is nothing at this depth on which the net would catch hold.
It is caught.
Not possible.
Then I will free the net which is not caught on anything.
This is very strange.
Diego will fix it. He can fix anything.
Yeah, you are very much in love, Niña.
Sí, Papa.
What is it, Diego? What did you see?
Well, I've seen pictures of them and never saw a real one before.
You mean my net is caught on something?
Yeah, it's about so big, and it's round. It's got horns on all sides. The net's caught in two of the horns.
A round fish with horns?
Yeah. Juan, you better go tell the harbor captain. Take the dinghy and take Marcia. I'll stay here with the net.
Come, Marcia.
What kind of a fish?
It's not a fish. It's a mine. It's a naval mine that's broken loose from some place. The only thing that's holding it is the net.
Marcia!
Yeah.
Marcia, we're floating on top of a barrel of dynamite. Come on!
Diego stays. I stay.
Marcia, we're not married yet. You're not yet the boss, and I don't have to do as you say. So if you behave like a mule, I can still treat you like one. So into the dinghy.
No!
In the dinghy.
Diego, put me down.
You're wonderful. I love you. You're beautiful, but sometimes you're like a mule.
No!
Diego, I hear you've seen a strange fish.
A fish I don't like in my net.
Does it look like any of these?
Yes, that one.
And the net is caught on the horns?
That's right.
This is the captain of the harbor. Get me La Paz, please. Yes. Yes, La Paz? I have verified the story I just gave you. Yes, it is a naval mine. Uh-huh. Oh, about 1 mile outside the entrance of the harbor. I request instructions on how to proceed, please. But Commander, I did not make myself quite clear. We cannot wait that long. Yes, sir, but Commander, the tide will turn in 2 hours and... Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'll keep you informed.
Well, what did he say?
He's sending a minesweeper.
Good.
It'll take 10 hours to get here, top speed. If the mine should break away from the net and go into the harbor...
It will make a big noise. That nitrate factory.
We must find a way to hold the mine in place until the minesweeper gets here.
Hey, I got an idea. You know Mike Nelson, the American with the air tanks?
Yes.
He's been teaching me how to use them.
Yeah, he's a very nice fellow. We have talked much together. I'm sure he would be glad to help.
I know just where to find him. Now, he was diving off Punta Lomas this morning as we went by.
Then get him, Diego. Perhaps with his air tanks, and he can tie a rope to the mine, and we can tow it out to sea.
Yes. I hope he's still there.
Hurry. Is tied up well.
Hi, what? It is nice of you to come, Mr. Nelson. This is my daughter, Marcia.
Marcia. Thank you for coming, Senor Nelson. La Paz thanks you for your offer to help. We have identified the mine from Diego's description. It's like this one.
You sure? Like this?
We have many pictures. Diego picked that one. Is there something wrong?
This looks like Japanese Type 98, both contact and magnetic.
Contact, I know. If you press on the horns, it blows up. But magnetic?
It means that any moving metal coming too close to it could explode it.
Isn't that tank of yours iron?
That's right. How deep would you say that mine's floating?
I have 35 feet on net in the water.
That means it's 35 feet deep.
Is it hopeless?
Well, there's one thing I know for sure. I'm not going to get any closer than 15 feet with this tank of mine. Diego, we're going to take advantage of those 2 lessons that I gave you with a diving line.
But he cannot take the tank near the mine.
We're not going to. Here, you better take this belt, huh? He's going to be my air station 15 feet below. While I take a look at that mine. Comprende?
Yes.
All right. I'll meet you 15 feet below, huh?
Diego remained above me with the diving lung. I was afraid to bring the metal any closer, so I took a deep breath from the lung and swam down to the mine without it. It was just about 35 feet down when I reached the bottom of the net. And there it was. Ugly, spiked, dangerous. But was it a magnetic type, which would make it harder to handle? Then I saw the peculiar flat housing between 2 of the horns. It was magnetic, all right. It had a mooring ring, if I could just get a rope on it. I swam up and took a breath from the lung. Then we surfaced.
No problem. Throw me a rope. I'll tie it to the mine and we'll throw it out to sea.
Diego, are you all right?
I'm fine.
It seemed so easy. All we had to do was swim down with a line. If we could hold our breath long enough, we could tie the rope to the mooring ring and tow the mine away. But when we went down again, the mine was gone. We looked everywhere. We couldn't find it. It had torn out of the net.
Success? It's gone. It tore away from the net.
The tide has turned. That means the mine is being carried into the harbor.
This was the derelict mine. 1,000 pounds of dynamite, which would explode by contact of one of its horns or by magnetic induction if it came within the critical distance of any substantial metal object. And this was the heart of the seacoast town of Mazanel. Its fishing boats, its cannery, its nitrate plant, and its people. Into the harbor, hidden from sight, came the drifting mine, carried by the tide. Even a shockwave from a nearby explosion could make that nitrate plant blow up. Where Mazanel once was, there'd be a hole in the earth.
Boats are beginning to move out already. Yeah, we ought to move out too. What happened to Juan? Do you know? Look, do you think we've got to wait for him?
No one knows the harbor currents like he does.
They're off. My wife, Marcia, and the little ones. The mayor has ordered the whole town to get out. I've never seen anything like it.
Juan, we don't have any more time to waste. Here's a chart of the harbor.
I can tell you exactly where that mine is this very moment. This is where we first saw the mine. This is where we are right now. The mine will float dust, dust, and dust. It will arrive here on the tide in one half hour.
All right, let's get going, huh?
Diego!
What are you doing here?
If you stay, I stay too. I go with you.
No, Marcia, please, no. For the love of heaven, Diego, come!
Go to your mother, child. There is danger here.
Diego, there's no time.
Go, Marcia, go now. I'll be all right.
Go to your mother.
Same procedure as before, except you'll hold on to the rope, huh? Okay. I'll meet you down below.
Juan had calculated where the mine should be, and Diego and I went down with a rope. Diego used the diving lung. He held one end of a 15-foot length of rope, while I swam around with the other end. I didn't use a lung. I was still afraid to bring metal too close to the mine. Then I went back to Diego to get air from the diving lung. In this way, we checked a 15-foot radius. But we didn't see the mine. We'd wanted to intercept it as far away from the wharf as possible. But in trying to do this, maybe we'd gone out too far. Had the mine already passed this point? I decided to go up and move closer to shore.
Nothing? Didn't see a thing.
It's just like finding a drop of water in the sea.
I'll find it, I'm sure.
We better get it closer to the wharf. We probably passed it.
I will head for the breakwater.
We've got no time to spare.
Are you sure we're ahead of it this time, Juan? This time we must be.
This time, Juan had hit it right on the nose. But I still didn't know what magnetic effect the metal air tank would have on the mine, even at this distance. So I took a lungful of air and sent Diego to the surface with the tank. Now the only question was, could I tie the rope to the mooring ring before my air gave out?
Get the slack. Easy now, easy.
Hey, the rope broke. Impossible.
ring snapped off.
This mine seemed to have a jinx on it. It moved relentlessly toward the town.
Now what?
Can you find it again?
I know I can.
All right, then find it. And I want to be right over the top of it when we jump. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fast.
What are you planning to do?
Give me a hand with this net. Huh? Come on. Beneath the surface, the mine came steadily toward the wharf. The speed of the tide was 2 miles an hour, about 170 feet a minute. The wharf, the nitrate plant, the town was only about 5 minutes away.
Get ready to jump! You got it all straight now?
Yes.
Juan knew the currents better than anyone in Mazanel. Still, all he could do was make a good guess as to where the mine would be. And if we found it, we'd have to catch it in the net. Juan was right. There it was. It was coming straight at us, just a little to one side. We shifted and kept moving toward it. But we were high, so we swam down a little. The last trick was the hardest. We had to catch the mine without exploding it. At last, we had the mine trapped in a net again. But we still had to get it out to the open sea and rendezvous with a minesweeper.
Throw me a line!
We've got it! Gracias a Dios. Marcia! Everything is safe! Tell everybody! Tell your mama! Everybody can come back!
Senor Nelson. Thank you. Thank you for myself and the town of Mazanel. It's all yours.
Thank you. But first, let's tow this egg out to sea before we drop it again, huh?
Juan, let's go.
Sí, Capitán.
Several hours later, the crew of the minesweeper disarmed the mine and took charge of the round iron fish that almost destroyed the town of Mazanel.
Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt.